Your life.
Assalamu alaikum everyone. Welcome to the CxO show. Today we are here with another exciting topic with a lot of experience we have in the panel as well. It would be a very interesting discussion about developing and retaining top performers. Interestingly, our panelists today are from very diverse industries, and I'm hoping that we are going to have very interesting conversation and insight about what keeps them awake, what is the problem at the talent, and how can we keep our top talent within the organization, how can we develop them and retain them. Before I delve into the communication and discussion about this, I would welcome the panelists. Thank you so much, everyone, for joining us. And I will definitely welcome our listeners as well. I think let's have a round of introduction and then we go into the discussion ourselves. I think Ghulam Shabir साहब आपसे शुरू करते हैं. If you will take few minutes to introduce yourself.
Thank you very much, Sabahat. This is indeed an excitement to be on this very, very important panel. I actually lead an organization in the capacity of Chief Operating Officer. This organization is known by the name of Momentum Limited, and it has three divisions precisely. One is consulting, public policy and research. The other one is aviation and aerospace, and the third one is information technology. So I actually had to spearhead all these three divisions in the capacity of chief operating officer. Yeah.
Great to know. Thank you so much. Moving on to Ashraf Mahmood Saab. Please introduce yourself and share your experience as well.
Thank you, Sabat, and thank you, CxO Global Forum, for inviting me on such informative platform. And Assalamu alaikum to all of my fellows as well. CEO of Lemon Communications. We started our journey in 2009. We are in the industry of information security. Then we increased our footprints in multiple regions as well, like UAE, Saudi Arabia, and in USA as well. Our precise focus is on the BPO outsourcing and the information security.
Great. Information security we have, and we have very diverse industry of aerospace and momentum. And now we move to Mr. Sabda. Sabda साहब आपका भी तारुफ अगर हो जाए. Yeah.
बहुत शुक्रिया जी. मैं चार्टर्ड अकाउंटेंट हूँ बाय प्रोफेशन. So I started my journey in 2006 and started as a business consultant, advisors, auditor, and accountant. Then in 2019, I started a technology company. Now I am a director and co-founder in the Prismatic Technologies Limited. We do work in ERP, some mobile applications, and human resource management solutions for company in diverse range. So this is my small background in the business.
Great. So very relevant actually in the today's world. All the fields that we're talking about are high tech talent is required. And although we always claim that Pakistan has the best talent in market, but we always feel that there is a war going on in the talent as well. So before anything else, let's delve directly into the topic. If I ask you from your experience, what are the most significant challenges that as a CXO you think that you face when it comes to developing the top talent? Any of you can start off. Why don't you start, Shubi sir?
Bismillah ar-Rahman ar-Rahim. The first and the foremost challenge that we are encountered with in terms of developing the talent, it is basically finding the right kind of an overall talent mix and putting in place an overall succession plan for developing that talent actually. You see, because generally the industry in which we serve our overall process cycles are like very very lengthy, and we have a bigger challenge of retaining and developing people at the same time. And then there is a lot of project or aerospace program based developments and deployments on the side of HR that we have to take care of. So because of these long these long cycles, we find it very, very difficult to introduce a kind of a development program which suffices not only the development needs of the concurrent human resource that we have at hand, but also then linking it up with the overall pipeline of the talent that we want to maintain, because once this cohort is going to move ahead on the basis of their overall succession plan, then we have to take care of their followership as well. So bringing in the right kind of a mix for the development initiatives and bridging it up with our succession planning, these are the two key challenges that we always face.
Right, right, and being in the tech industry, I think that has impact on most of the areas, because not only the talent shortage in supply, but also when you move on, then retaining them so that when you have prepared them, not there are so many avenues that is open for him. And if I come to the cyber security, I see that similarly. There is a shortage of cybersecurity talent, the right
Yeah,
cybersecurity talent, because whenever we develop something, there is always the fish coming in to take your developed fish
exactly.
all together. So, what do you think are your challenges, Ashasa?
Sabahat, the thing is that first, finding the right talent, especially in the cybersecurity, is always be a challenge.
Yeah.
Retaining the employees are the biggest challenge in all entire tech industry right now, because
Hmm.
the world which we are living right now, daily many players are coming into the market and picking the right talent or the skillful talent, and which we all, in fact, we, especially in the Pakistan market, we all are in the same boat right now. Just to I will move myself towards how we can retain these employees. These are the most important part. We have to keep navigating and communicating every time with the right talent, because we knows who are the pillars of the company, on on which basis which we are moving towards the next level to retaining the customer as well. Because if we don't have a right, the right employees, the skillful team we have, so we cannot retain our customers as well. These are the key challenges. Again, we have to build a strong company culture as well, and we need to find the different ways to engage the employees, and we have to take care of the welfare and the compensation as well, as per the current market scenarios, which these are the very, very important factors which we have to retain the employees, in my opinion.
Like,
And lastly, and the skill development program of the employees, which we have to moving regular basis, and we have to prepare the backup of our main employees as well, just in case of any kind of shuffle happens, so there not be any kind of impact on the company skills.
absolutely. I think you touch base very rightly on that, not only acquiring the talent, but retaining them on the speed of the reward that is
Yeah,
available in the market, and
yeah,
the speed that you can provide them, and absolutely developing them as well, while keeping all the challenges in the mind. And Sabdusa, when I come to you, you have the background from from the finance side as well, and you're looking at the very skilled resource of ERP as well. And when we look at the reward structure within our pay scales, within the reward structure that Pakistani market offer versus what is available around the world, and how avenues are open, what do you think are the challenges added into the market when it comes to competing in the international scenario as well?
Actually, there are multiple factors. Right from the start, our people are not market ready. So when they come from the college and university, they are not market ready. So this is the first problem when you have to face. And but when they come, they have a sense of packages in mind. So like they know what is being offered in USA, Europe, and in the multinational companies in Pakistan as well. So their sense of package or their approach towards the compensation is very high. But the and this is also a freelancers kingdom right now, which is prevailing all around the world. So when they come, they not only join and they want a higher package. All of a sudden, you came to know that everyone in your company, or the every second or third employee is going for the freelancer. So
Yes.
they want everything on their table, but they don't want to put efforts to be market ready or to get skills that can let them go to the higher compensation ladder. The other
Yes.
thing is that the economy is not stable here in Pakistan. So everyone's nowadays start comparing the earning power. So they start, okay, when I started 6 months earlier, the dollar was 180. Now dollar is 300. So my earnings actually has shrunk. So they start putting effort towards getting the higher raise. So, oh, and nowadays some people are even asking to pay us in the dollars. So for the companies who are working in locally, it is very hard to retain them and to pay them in dollars as well, because some of the companies, whether they are paying or not, they start portraying and showing in the digital media they have linked their paying scales to the dollars. So all of a sudden, everyone in the industry start requesting the owners to pay us in the dollar term as well, which is very difficult to unless you have earning in dollar as well. So the packages nowadays is no comparison. So everyone start looking, okay, although I have just started the market, so this is what Google is paying, this is what Yahoo is paying. So what I'm getting is not comparable. So on the other hand, if as an entrepreneur you think there almost 90% of the universities are producing the graduates which are not market ready. You have to start investing after 3 to 6 months. You think now they are useful for you, and when they become useful for you, they have already something in mind. Okay, I am moving towards ABC company. They are a multinational. They are working with the European or US company. There are a lot of benefits. There is a lot of entertainment going on. So there is a baby mindset in the employees as well. So they want everything to be covered. So you have to provide them a playground in the office. You have to provide them an entertainment in the office. So the fixing of package is not comparable.
Absolutely. I think what has happened over the period of time is that the way our organizations in Pakistan had been looking at the talent and the way international market has changed in terms of, for example, freelancing, as you very rightly mentioned. And similarly, the pay structures that are available due to the currency differences. But as far as pay structures and all these things are concerned, is one area. However, we look at what is the talent coming in, as you pointed out as well. Uh, there is a generational gap as well. We see, because we see that there is, sort of, our organization are at one end, and when they are going into the international market, they are competing, and they want everything. They want everything that international market has to offer, whether it is in terms of dollars, pay salaries, what's in terms of the culture, the flexibility of the work, and how, Ashusab, I'll come to you, because in
Yes.
cybersecurity we see the most trend in it, that there
Yeah.
is everyone who is working in cybersecurity, one way or the other, is working for international clients as well. How do you see our organizations, Pakistani organization of any size, competing and creating a landscape for the talent that is available in the market, whether it's from the freshest or from the experienced, whether it's term of culture or whatever we are offering to them as an organization?
Uh, Sawad, unfortunately, there is a bitter truth right now. The the workforce we are, I mean, the resources we are getting from the freshers, I mean, of the university, they are not up to the mark. Unfortunately, just because of the quality of education, this is the biggest problem. And when they passed out, then they come out, their mindset is are totally different. They said, we like, let's suppose, I don't want to I mean, pointed out any name of the university, but any reputable university, the fresh grads, their mindsets are totally different. They are asking a high scale salaries, which, I mean, the lot of benefits they are asking. But if you will go towards their basics, let's suppose if we are talking about the telecommunication engineers, the fresh grad, the other programs, they don't know about what exactly happening in the international market, because as per the cyber security, many companies have unlimited budget of cyber securities, not in Pakistan, other countries as well, because we are working international market. But once we compare international market with the Pakistan market, which is very horrible situation right now, just because talent problem and the quality issues as well, lot of quality issues, and we unfortunately we don't follow the SOPs as well. We have to hire the fresh grads, we have to develop their skills, we have to maintain the, I mean, the compensation as per the market, everything. And unfortunately, I will I mean, acknowledge to Safdar Saab as well, just because of the currency devaluation going on, everyone is looking for the freelancing projects, and everyone is going towards the other perks and packages as well, the currency devaluation allowances. The right resource, if you hire the right resource, they will sustain. We have to, as a management or as a company, we have to retain them, we have to provide them a sustainability environment, and we have to respect their voices as well. Not, and we have to remove, I mean, we don't need to do any bias in terms of the compensation or in terms of the reward as well. This is most important. Once you, I mean, as per my experience, once you will satisfy the employees, they will not leave your company, or whatever the thing is, that they will not. And until or unless the continuous growth, this is a main problem in the market. If you'll hire anyone somewhere else, like 3 or 4 years experienced guy, he will ask like, why you are leaving the company? Just because of the growth issues. Salary is there, package is there, but just because of the growth issues. So in my opinion, regular development of the employees along with their welfare and the satisfaction, and the in the relaxation in the timings as well. This is most important. We have to do the flexibility in the timing, the remote work facilities. As you know, after the COVID, lot of companies has stopped the work from home. I mean, the environment as well. So we have to carry on whatever the possibilities are. I mean, in the world which we are living in Pakistan, we can try to compensate as much as we can just to retain the employees. And again, the job security is most important part.
Right. Ghulam Shakir Sahib, if I come to you and look into, we would like to peel off some layers from what strategies do you think have worked for you over the period of time, especially in the terms of the industry you are at and the multiple industries you are dealing in. The dearth of the talent is not only in terms of the quality, but also the diversity of the talent. You will find the talent in terms of only either one generation, one gender, or one type of the university. The diversity in terms of intellect, in terms of gender, in terms of age is not that much available. What have what would you suggest, or what have you experienced as a strategy that have worked for you in terms of retaining of the talent? Because you see, why I'm asking this is that these challenges of talent moving abroad will happen. Asking for salary, more salary in this scenario seems justifiable as well. Having a right kind of environment is justifiable in this country as well. So, with these challenges, I would not call them challenges, but the changes of current organization versus what strategies have you adopted that have helped you over the period of time?
Uh, this is indeed a very pertinent question. We actually have been facing the similar kind of scenario which my other colleagues have just shared, and which you have very well covered as a preamble to this particular point of the discussion. So first and foremost strategy that has really worked with us, it is basically devising a hybrid competency retainment and competency utilization model within our organization. So when I say hybrid competency retainment or competency, seeking and then onboarding and utilization, I mean to say that based on the critical talent requirements, we actually had some paid relationships with some of the talent providing companies abroad, and with some of very good consulting resources both in individual as well as in organizational terms. So what we do is that whenever there are certain critical project or program design areas or project or program delivery areas, we actually get that team at the backdrop, and they are basically the experts of their own domains. So they work hand in hand with our local teams here. And in this process, what we do is that based on other elements of human resource management, like for example compensation and the environment and the culture, so we embed a value of their continued development, and that development is actually coming directly from the domain expertise, and it is a hands-on kind of development and interaction, which actually helps them multiply their exposure, and gives them a hands-on opportunity alongside the exposure as well to actually do the job. So this is one of the strategy that we have successfully been able to deploy. Although it is a highly costly model, and alongside the cost, it has its own inherent pilferages as well. But whatever the consequences have been, we have seen that it has actually worked for us in terms of delivering for the clients and preparing well in terms of and delivering well in terms of the expectations of the clients and the customer organizations. So this is one thing that we have been able to successfully do. The second most important thing that I think has worked in our case is our effort to collaborate and get the fresh talent on board from some of the important and high repute and high skill intensive aviation institutions which are working right here in Pakistan, as well as our collaboration with some of the aviation industry training providers and standard-based training providers in UAE as well as in Europe. So this is an area again where we had to actually put in place 1.5 year of an engineering development program for our people, especially in aviation industry, and that has actually worked for us. But kind of attainment, we had put in place pegging points or pegging knots, like for example getting into the kind of the kind of minimum track tenor security, along with of course a certain compensation as well as other benefits, and then also a commitment, a very kind of specified commitment on the side of taking care of the after 1.5 year developmental opportunities or the developmental needs that we have in place for our work at the first place, and also coinciding with the overall career progression of the employees as well, or particularly the fresh employees. So career progression, career management, hybrid model of engaging the talent, and building multiple layers of the talent, not only here in Pakistan but also having a very direct relationship with some of the providers abroad, has actually been able to help us a lot in navigating through all these a scenario which is really getting tough every passing day.
Right. Thank you. I think one very important thing that you have mentioned here is that we have to have a multiple set of strategies, and that fits into your model. However, because you are working in a very specific area of talent where there already is a marked dearth in Pakistan for that. If I come to you, Sabzasab, and I tend to look back 20 years back when we started our career, we as a generation as well, uh, over the period of time in organizations as well, culture used to be the kind of the values that we talk about and the in-depth culture that the organization in totality displays. Now, over the period of time, we have seen that the culture has taken one more scenario, and that is how we are, creating sustainability in the market as well. How we are supporting our environment. What is the bigger purpose of the organization? Do you think that talent also engage right now on the basis of what overall culture the internal and external impact the organization is creating. And if that is one of the area, where do you think that organization should now need to focus on? What is your recipe for success for that?
In my opinion, this sustainability issue, there are always some new things coming in the market. So maybe 2 years down the road, there was something else. Now there is a more focus on environment friendly sustainability, working on CSR, and these are the macro level issues that every company has to deal with. And normally people take care of it, but in my opinion, they are very particular about it. What nowadays talent is seeking is the branding, that your organization should be a brand name that you feel proud, or you will feel that your status is up when you are in the organization. Like everyone in Pakistan will prefer to go for a multinational, irrespective of if someone is giving the better package and better facilities. But if he has to compare, he will say, okay, so this is company and this is company B. This company B is a multinational. So if I will sit somewhere in the social gathering, I will say, okay, I'm working for this much, so it will all of a sudden elevate my status. So this
Very right.
has taken a front seat instead of all other things. So this is one thing where someone has to think. So if you want to attract more talent and a brilliant one, so you have to work on your more than anything else. So you have to brand yourself that okay, I am the best. This is the my value. These are my visions. So we are taking a bigger pictures, and everyone who can come to us will feel something elevated in terms of his status or in terms of his social appearance. This is one thing which I think everyone coming in the market is looking for. So this is one thing where the local organization are missing. So the local organization has to work on it. That you have to put some extra effort on your branding to attract the talent. So this is
Right,
my
right. So the triple bottom line is actually becoming a reality for Pakistani local organization as well, because it used to be the reality for MNCs for quite long now, and that what have made them brand. We as a nation has turned into a brand conscious nation as well over the period of time. We are always talking about what do
Mm.
we have in hand, what are we wearing, what do we have in the hand as a phone, what are our gadgets talking about it. So the generation that we are living and we are seeing coming out from the universities are as brand conscious as we have made them, as our parents, as the generation who have raised that generation too. But keeping that in mind, I feel one thing as well, and that's where my very focused question comes in as well. Right now, as well, I have all male panel, and you must have seen in your area as well that there is a lack of having the right female talent coming in from the market as well still now, especially in the areas of that, let's say, cybersecurity, especially in terms of aviation, even in ERP, front end development. Probably yes, you'll find a lot of front end development, but back end you will hardly find any female in that area. So although we can find probably more sustainable career plan there in terms of talent if we start focusing on that. How do you see gender inclusion as part of your talent strategy in terms of development and retaining and then taking them further as well? And do you think that this is one of the area that organization can now look into? Probably Ashraf Saab, you can start off and then I can move on to either of you would like to take the answer.
Uh, Sabat, there are a lot of challenges actually. You know, the our culture first. It's not allow all of the women to go and work outside. In fact, the educational problems are there as well. You know that. And then, especially, let's talk about the main cities, Karachi, Lahore, and Islamabad. Most of the females are moving towards the HR side and the sales side and the business development side, and or any kind of business analyst. You cannot. I mean, we are not having a talent of the females in network engineering side or the software development side or chartered accountants. Yes, I have seen few of the females are coming on that areas as well, but especially in terms of the networking cybersecurity side and the software development side, yes, we are pretty much lack on it, especially the telco sector as well. It is not it is also still impacting just because there is no female resources out there. Yes, we have to focus on that, but what I mean, I have seen few of the network engineers females as well. They are outstanding in terms of the development, but we cannot send our females alone right now just because of the issues we have overall in our market and our environment as well. Let's suppose go to the client premises and start the development. Let's suppose the product which we are dealing right now, it has the hardware and the softwares as well. We cannot give the box to the female, take this and go towards the deployment as an engineer to the client premises. So these are the still challenges, the mindset issues are still there for us, so we have to focus and work on that, and it starts from on the upper level first rather than start on the ground level, because if we don't change our mindset, we cannot encourage our females to move into that domains.
Right, right. I'll take the same question from Ghulam Shabir Saab and Sabda Saab both as well, because those two industries are also lacking the female representation at all level, whether it's the leadership level or at the level down there.
Yeah, Sabdasa, please go ahead.
जी Sabda Saab, आप you
Yeah,
can start.
yeah. In my opinion, it is not only the side of the female. There is a lack of preparedness on the side of the entrepreneur as well. I mean, some
Yes.
that was supposed not having any female for a couple of years back. Now this, but they were found that there is no female at all working offices. Now we first have to prepare, have to assume that she can work. Yes, we keep our mind barrier there that okay, she is female, she cannot do this, she cannot do that. So that will make our organization feeling some barriers, some bottlenecks, because once she is in the organization, once she has passed a certain qualification and experience, so it means she is coming to do the job. So it there are some cultural issues that every entrepreneur feel that okay, if I send her to client or some outside, so there might be some issue that may create a trouble for me since the female. So we have to take it, which is a good thing on the part of the organization. But I think we should start thinking that okay, although she is a female, but she can do anything, because if she's an accountant, an engineer, or a software developer, he has passed the same level of education, getting through the same university, passing through all the hurdles that a male have passed. So it means the work ready. So we have to feel ourselves confidence. Okay, we hand over something to that lady. I think we can deliver. So this is what on our side we have to accept. Okay, if we are injecting females, she can deliver as well. I have been to different universities as a faculty member. So what I have seen there is the number of females on the higher classes is more than the male members. Like you go to any university nowadays, the girls are more than the boys there. So if we want to grow ourselves, so we have to prepare ourselves ready for the change which is coming in our society. So we have to accept, okay, whatever is the profession, she has passed the same standard. So because in any education in Pakistan, there are no different standards. Okay, the male will pass 50 marks and the female for the 33 marks. So there is a same standard, same benchmark, same teachers, same books. So we have to accept, okay, once she is here, she might feel a couple of times, okay, I would not be comfortable doing this, but I think down the road when she has a 15 or 10-year experience, she can handle any job, any experience. So we have to let her grow, let her develop her skills, that and we have to show our confidence as we show on our male members of the organization. I think they can also perform wonderful in our society.
Yeah, I think with more freelancers kind of job coming in, this barrier of women coming out of the home is also getting lower as well, because they are working from home as well. I see a lot of women in tech areas who are providing their services to international market in Pakistan, but they are working from home in the international timing as well. So there are challenges in terms of the mindset of the Pakistani companies as well. But if I come to you, Shabir Saab, aviation has been one industry which has been having. I have the privilege of belonging to a family who have been into civil aviation as well, so I can look into background and see there used to be good people in aviation as well. Do you think that gender inclusion had been into picture for this particular industry as well?
Yeah, I will share with you two perspectives, but before I move on to sharing the perspectives, I must appreciate the overall thought process that just Sabda Saab has put in place in terms of engaging or looking up at the women or girls as a talent, and as a very very important and value added, part of the workforce. So this is highly appreciated. So coming down to the particular aspect of aviation, um, I would say that yes, there are certain operations of aviation where there is an acceptance for the gender, for the girls, for the women. But then there are certain, like for example, engineering, where the level of openness or the level of acceptance is a little lower. I would say it is really minimum. So it yet again proves the overall stance that Safdar Saab has just shared. I mean, it is only about the mindset of us, the fraternity, who is actually going to enable girls and women being part of the workforce, being active contributors to the overall work productivity going on, and being enablers for many things that the organizations want to do, right? Because if in certain elements of customer care, if in certain elements of front office handling, as well as um, on the journey, or for example on the flight, client care, if it is an acceptable norm, then why not for the female and girls, then why not in the engineering roles, why not in the production roles, why not in the IT roles, why not in the system integration roles actually, right? So this is all about the mindset actually. But yet again, there is another perspective, and I am really excited to share that perspective from one of our other divisions, which is related to public policy advisory and research. I have found personally girls and women more active, more committed, more sincere, and more eager to learn, to create, as well as to add value in that division. And I would especially share the example of few of the field research projects or the programs that we have been able to conduct successfully, and all the field force engaged for collecting the data, for undertaking the supervision, and for interacting with the governmental as well as other stakeholders. They were all females, and they have been able to work wonders in hard hard areas, in the areas where there is a lot of cultural sensitivity for the women participation into the field activities, where there is a lot of filth attached with the women going outside the boundary of a home, and performing their role for actually creating some value for their families in terms of earning some economic gains. But they have beaten up all the odds, and they have been very good at the productivity. They have been very good on the side of compliance and sincerity, and they have been like delivering their work as if they are doing some some contribution to the society, some contribution to the community. So this tells us about the DNA of a Pakistani lady, a Pakistani female, and a Pakistani girl. So it is all upon us that how do we enable them? How do we respect them? How do we actually provide them with the secure, safe, and welcoming environment where they can not only, where they can not only come, but they come with an intent to conquer and to contribute really. So this is what I wanted to share actually.
Right. Thank you. Thank you. I think that's a great thought. I want to now turn the discussion towards one very important part of our part. One was we were discussing the development and the acquisition. Now come the retention part. And if I pick up the devil's advocate here and take the side of the performers and the talent within the organization and take this highlight and the top light away from the CxOs, the talent on one hand seems to think that organization have certain biases towards growing the talents, as one of you actually pointed out as well, that when they look into going somewhere, I think Ashraf, you pointed out, when they always, the reason for going somewhere is always the growth. And
Yeah.
retention has over the period of time has worked in and we look at the performers, or even the not even the top performers, you're the general average performers are also talking about that what is the retention plan the organization is coming up with, whether it's like, and we have talked about the inclusion of the gender, inclusion of different thoughts, inclusion of different areas, for example different universities rather than only focusing on one type of university. We have talked about that diversity in terms of development. But what about retention? Do you think, very important question, do you think that organizations are a little bit biased about developing their own talent and they prefer that, okay, ठीक है जाता है जाए, but we should bring someone else from outside and bring one more talent from outside and bring someone up from the on the top, and the internal talent feels a little bit shaky, and then they start leaving. Do you think organization develop certain sort of biases towards their internal talents instead of retaining and growing them, rather bring someone else from outside?
Uh,
Gee, Asha,
okay.
sorry, or Sabda Sab, you can start any of them.
Okay. Uh, the thing is that I can agree. Of course, your question has an answer as well. Again, yeah, exactly. But again, I will highlight some of the points in terms of the retaining of the employees. See, as an employer, we do our best to retain our most important employees, the key employees.
Yes.
Until or unless there is a part of the process, some employees stay and some employees go. We cannot retain the employees for a longer period, for a longer time, as per the current market and the world which we are living right now. So I mean, as per my perspective, there are the key points which we can obviously implement in our organization just to retain the employees. First is to empower our workforce to deliver the sustainable outcomes for the business. This is the most important part. Because we don't, I mean, share the empowerment with the employees. This just because of our mindset, frankly speaking, and we have to solve the issues of the employees as per the realities of the market. Like some employees listen, see this is happening in that organization. Why not we cannot implement this policy for the welfare of the employees? So rather than employee come to you, we have to be very much efficient and to automatically implement the small welfare or small compensation packages to automatically, I mean, provide to the our employees. Second thing is that we have to create the workplace that truly works, not just to showcase for the public. For the employees, we don't care about the public. Our employees are the salesperson, frankly speaking. They sell our companies. If we, I mean, if we compensate them truly, so they will automatically go towards in the market. See, this our company is doing this, our company is doing this A B C D. So they will automatically sell the company. And again, give the employees what exactly thrift for them, not for all of them. This is the most important part. Unfortunately, we have, as a company nowadays, we have a budget issues, we have market issues, we have business, and just because of the economical challenges, employees are automatically moving right now. And again, there are priority of the employee just to move from the Pakistan just because of the better growth, better compensation as well. So yes, we as to retain the employee satisfaction, mobility, training is spent, continuous education, and give them a time for the full productivity. These are the key points as per my understanding.
Very rightly pointed out. As Sab, all very pertinent points. And Sabzab, I'll come to you, and then Shabir Sab, I'll come to you as well. That I feel that there is a very right direction that Azhar Saab has also given. That there is a tension between employer and employee about what I can get and what you can offer. And when you reduce that and start offering that as a way forward for your company, as a kind of, this is how we operate, a workplace that works. I really like that sentence, that a workplace that really works for you. That is kind of the culture. And do you think that the retention as an employer problem has sometimes not only the focus remains only on the top performer and may alienate your that good belt that can convert into the top performer as well, because retention is one. After top performer so you have retained, but what about those who have the potential to convert into the top performer? So Sabta Saab, if I come to you from the retention again point of view, do you think that in addition to the culture, the overall plan of retaining works in the organization, and what have worked, what golden pieces of advice you can share with us that have worked over the period of time for the retention specifically?
So if you allow me, I can answer this question in what was the retention strategy in the past and what is the retention strategy right now.
Sure.
So in
Yeah.
the people who are looking for retention, who can be retained, they need the respect, because there were a lot of say about that. There are cultures that do not respect the employees. So the first priority for them in the recent past was that there must be a company which respects, and there must be a trust among the employee and an employee, both sides. They were looking for someone who is not micromanaging the organization. They were looking about the offices, whether the offices in the urban area, the downtown, and main city, because everyone was preferring to move to Lahore, Islamabad, and there was and then again there were issues and the participation in the organization. These were the main points in the recent past if you want to retain talent. So now you see recent scenario with the IT era, the work from home era now. So some of the lines have been blurred. So there are some new parents which come into existence, which you want to retain the right talent right now. Again, there is the branding. So you have to be a brand. So people come to you. There must be incentive for the high performers. There must be a participation. There must be a belonging, or that they are being the runner of the show. So you are not taking their incentive or their status that they are running the show. You are not running the show. So you have to give them their due credit as well. Okay. So everywhere that this is the talent who is running the show. Although I'm the owner, I am the businessman, but I am in the backside and they are on the front seat. So these are the kind of cultural issues that have come into place. And again, in an unstable economy, you have to provide them incentive. Uh, There are some companies who are giving increment after every 6 months, every 3 months, maybe small, but they are giving this. It was really listened by anyone that in the last 5 years there was a company who is giving an increment before a year. So this was like a 10 commandments that the increment will be after years. So now you have to put it in place. Okay, so you have moved from one ladder to another in the organization, whether it is within a month or whether it is in a year. You have to give them the increment in terms of compensation and in terms of status, and the designation as well. This is in terms of retention, past, current. But in whether you have a written strategy or not, every organization have a three layers. The third one is the support element. So you have to categorize these three things in your organization. Okay, these are the employees, whether one or multiple. That these are my critical to run the show, to make a growth and to make a company sustainable. So you have to take care at any cost. So don't let them go. Openly discuss with them what is their problem, what they want, and what you can offer. So have a trust, and there should be a trust between employee and unemployed. That okay, whatever is the situation, I can openly discuss, and I will be listened and I will be trusted. And then there is a important talent. That this is the talent which is also not the critical, but that at one stage you need them because you have to maintain a continuity of the organization. Because you have to see what is being offered in the market. You have to offer them whatever in the market, whether it is a low pay or a higher pay, whether it is beyond your grades, you have to pay. And then third one is the sport. So you have to ignore about the coming and going of the sports staff. You have to let them go because the new talent will come. And new blood will always come with the new ideas because the brightest ideas are always with the younger lot. So lot like me and someone who is in the 60s, 70s, it is hard to find any new ideas. So if you see in the startups era right now, every unicorn or every new successful startup with the age category of 20 or 30. So the people have to understand that okay, we need the fresh blood in the organization. So don't always focus on the okay, someone is in your company, it has to be there. Like in our society, it is said that okay, beta जा रही हो तो अब तुम्हारी चोटी गई है तो लाश ही आएगी. ऐसा नहीं होना चाहिए. So it has to be come and go. Let them go if they want to go. So you have to be ready. Okay, I will be my system are place. My policies are there. So even if someone is going, I will take care of my organization. This is my take on it.
I think very pertinent points, all of them absolutely gem because uh, one size fit all doesn't work anymore. Once a year, looking at the performance doesn't work anymore as well. Seeing everyone in the same picture doesn't work anymore as well. And also, I think you have touched base a very, very important part of ageism here. We organizations have over the period of time have not learned to ignore the ageism and वो जो शुरू में कभी अकबाल ने कहा था जवानों को पीरों का उस्ताद कर वी हैव forgotten that we have forgotten the art of reverse mentoring the fresh blood that comes in and bring in the new ideas and give the organization the vigor that is required. Absolute gem points. And if I come to Shibe Sab, you I think with the addition of these categorization of talent and then rewarding them accordingly and have a different retention plan, it matches a lot with how you were discussing about the development of the talent in your stage as well, that you were talking about the developing each layer separately. Now if I try to match both, so I would like this, coming out as as a conclusion of our discussion. So developing in terms of layer and retention in terms of layer, coming out as a very strong suggestion as a strategy and a solution. I would like your opinion about it. How this strategy can become kind of a solution, keeping everything in mind: the gender inclusion, the age inclusion, the intelligence inclusion, generational inclusion, because you don't want to lose on the experience as well. How do you see these strategies coming along for the organization as the recipe for success?
Yeah, Sabahat, very pertinent point and thorough market oriented discussions or thorough operations oriented discussions by both the worthy colleagues. So now, in terms of looking up it from a strategic perspective, I mean, layering up layering up the talent with regards to its overall importance and significance in delivering the results for the business, for the organization, particularly for the clients. And then following up, or I would say strategizing development and a retention program for all the layers. Yeah, absolutely, this is perfect need for the R. And it is, to me, it is a perfect way of looking up at it, and it is very practical one as well. Especially the kind of industries we work in, the kind of overall operating environment we have, and the kind of uncertainty that we are messed up with most of the times. Um, so this could be taken as one gross strategy that obviously would require to be handled within the specifications of the business or of the operations. But yes, it is highly workable to my understanding. And when we take care of the talent based on various layers of importance, then we are not only ensuring the retention of the critical layers and the critical positions within all the layers on one hand, but we are also then steered very rightly to introduce and keep evolving our existing, development plans, development programs for those layers as well. And that is a specific point which also helps us in in making alignments to the ongoing, challenge, to the ongoing challenges and the ongoing, environmental factors that are affecting on us actually. So yes, I agree. This is certainly a workable model. This is a certainly workable strategy. And one more thing I just want to reiterate here is that there is a lot of, I would say, first-hand research work required as well, that is to be fed into, this entire process of talent clearing, talent retention, talent development, talent engagement, and providing them with the right kind of a culture mix altogether. Most of the times, we do not engage with the research, findings, or with the knowledge that that lies outside our organizations. And we are mostly, introvert in terms of looking up into the situations related to retention and development of the critical talent. And we are not pretty habitual in engaging the resources, or the knowledge from the outside of the organization, which actually can help us a lot in structuring, and uh, in structuring, as well as getting different insights from different angles to the scenarios that we are actually, facing. So this is also something very important. Like, for example, I mean, we don't usually refer to the overall, compensation related trends, compensation related, and elements related, various bands, various trends, you see. Similarly, we don't use structured data in terms of, I mean, Gen Z, or whatever, Gen that is coming in terms of their aspirations, in terms of their expectations, in terms of what is making them feel good, both physically, monetarily, as well as psychologically, right? So this is, I think, to me, this is also one critical area that we need to improve upon as employers. And with this kind of an external knowledge feed, driven by the insights, and then applying those insights to helping ourselves understand the real problems within the environment, and then addressing it on the basis of, this layered approach, or this layered model that you have just mentioned. It, I think, will be a beautiful way of keeping the talent engaged, keeping the talent, like on the trajectory of overall development, and keeping them retained as well. So this is all I think about it.
Great. I think you provided a great conclusion, and I just looked at the time. It's a 59 minutes, and it just the just time just flew, and very engaging and very engaging discussion from all of you. I would request one parting thought from each one of you, that why do you think that this is something that organizations should be focusing on, and this is one area that we where now as an organization should really be focusing their strategies and their budget. Any parting thoughts either of you would like to share? Shasab, and then Sabasab as well. Ji Shasab.
Sorry, Sabhat, I couldn't be able to understand. Actually, there is a voice has been broken. Can you
Okay, so
please?
I was just, yeah. So, any parting thoughts that you would like to share, because we would like to conclude, and how do you think that organizations should view this important topic, and what this whole discussion can be summarized as in your point of view?
Uh, just to conclude it, there are 3 to 4 things I want to highlight. As a company, we have to foster a culture where every voice is welcome and respected. And the next thing is, conclusion of our discussion is build a multi-generational workforce. There will be the gender equality as well, and the environment, everything like the women workforce we discussed. This is most important part. The last thing is the strengthen anti-discriminatory policy as well in terms of the compensation and the evaluation process. That's how I want to conclude all of our discussions today.
Great thoughts, great thoughts. I think this is just to the point that if these are the actions that we take, there can be some, points coming in from the
Yeah,
retention. So, this up.
yeah.
What do you think? What are your parting thoughts about?
In my opinion, if someone wants to make a company successful for a longer period, must calculate among force that this economy is a knowledge-based economy. Now, the industry is knowledge-based. So you must develop some habits or strategies in your organization that everyone try to improve himself by taking courses, by taking books, or by taking some guidelines from within the organization or outside. And there must be
Absolutely.
some sort of succession plan, because there are many organizations that failed not because of their idea was poor, just because their key players goes and there was no one to replace them. So there must be some sort of succession. And the
Yeah.
leader at the time must have an open ears. He should let everyone to come and open. There should not be any favoritism, and any organization should avoid the favoritism. And this buttering also be avoided. Some of the leaders, when they start getting praised by someone, they are all after them. So it kills the overall organization culture. This kind of phase, when you like your praise, the people understand. So this is my take. Thank you very much.
Right, absolutely. So succession plan and leaders knowing when to step back and let others lead as well. That's a very important aspect of developing and retention, so that they know that we are also important. I think it's a very good mix coming out. Shabir साहब आपकी तरफ आऊंगी. What is your parting thoughts about it?
Yeah, but this is pretty much very well covered by the worthy colleagues, and I would go 100% for developing and retaining and continuously, nurturing a culture where everybody is feeling valuable, where everybody is being provided with the opportunity to learn and thrive, and where actually, you know. Thriving of the thought or thriving of the people is given the centricity and without any strings attached. I mean, so this is a kind of a psychological anchor which can help us engage multiple levels of the workforce that we require for the ongoing operations, and it will also create opportunities for the workforce to reflect back and retrospect and contribute back to the organization as well. So that's what I think. Culture is really very important, and we need to work very hard as Pakistani organizations to actually start start developing that culture, which actually so that there's a feeling of belongingness, there's a feeling of safety, and there's a feeling of association, right? So this is very important. Yeah.
Great thoughts. I think I would conclude this. Thank you so very much. Very worthy discussion that we have. Really couldn't feel the time flying with our hand. Concluding this, and like everyone has said, that the recipe for success for developing and retaining the top performer is not lying anywhere in the numbers. It is making the workplace work. And I take the words from Ashraf Saab. I really like this approach that the workplace should work for the employees, and the belongingness is something that coming out as a very strong theme, where we are talking about the purpose, the values, where everyone feel that they are invited, they are connected, and they are respected. And then when you are thinking about everyone, you are thinking about generation, you are thinking about age, you're thinking about gender, and you're thinking about all the talent that is there. And when you are thinking about developing everyone, then everyone feel connected and belong there, and the retention does not become a shoe. But because you're thinking about belongingness, people feel that I belonged here. So that is why I may want to continue with the organization, and retention doesn't remain an issue. Thank you so very much, everyone. Very good point, very good discussion, very fruitful discussion. Can't thank you enough. Thank you. See you, everyone, again. God
Thank you
bless.
very much. Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you,
Thank
Sabat. I really
Thank you.
enjoyed all these learnings, and this has been really a great opportunity to learn from all of you. Thank you very much. Thank you.
Thank
Thank
you.
you very much.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank
Thank you.
you. Thank you, Shabir.